Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Week 14 Nffl Zeros for Dayz presser. Pretty depressed today, not gonna lie. We have been destined for the shit bowl since I think week 8 or 9, I do believe, something along those lines. We've given up quite a bit earlier in the season, probably a little earlier than what we should have. We probably could have made some trades and maybe snuck a couple spots here and there, but we weren't going to be making it to the playoffs this year. Just too many injuries, some bad drafting strategies, and just overall terrible management from yours truly. So not the best product we put there out on the field this year, to be fair. We did get bailed out a little bit by Nick Garvey going like 2-12 or something like that. So that does kind of hide or put a shadow on us and our failures this year. But we live and learn, and there's always next year. We do have wrapped up, guaranteed, the Hot Ones Challenge this year. Not terribly too worried about it. I do enjoy some spicy wings. It's gonna suck. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna suck. At some point, I'm gonna not have fun anymore, and it is going to be a pretty shitty and enduring challenge. But I believe I can get a couple wings in before it gets to that point. We'll have to straighten out the rules because I am sure you guys are all gonna try to fuck me as best you can and slather on an entire bottle of sauce onto one wing. But I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But that is guaranteed. You guys will be watching that at some point, probably next year, a little bit closer on to those summer months. Now we're kind of just playing for the ultimate loser. So the 999 challenge, and then the beer miles and chicken nugget miles or whatever we have this year. So again, I don't believe it's going to be that terrible of a punishment. I think this year was one of the better years to have a punishment. I think one of the worst years was Jackson, whenever he had and everybody BYOB, bring your own bullshit and throw it in a cup and have him drink the whole thing. I think that would be a terrible punishment. So having to do a mile while drinking a couple beers and watching a baseball game while drinking some beers and eating some hot dogs probably ain't going to be the worst thing in the world. But still got to see who ultimately gets that accomplishment this year. So, a little bit of prediction-wise, I think Ryan and Alex, I'm hoping Ryan and Alex are going to be in the Shitball Championship. I think I will potentially nudge out Ryan this week. If he puts up a 90-point performance like he has a few times this year, we've got that in the bag. We've only had 1 or 2 low scores, and I think Ryan's got like 6 or 7. So as long as we can just we don't have to be the fastest guy. We just can't be the slowest, and that's kind of where we're at right now at the moment. So we are trying to figure it out as we go along. We've made some changes to the lineup. We've done some things. I don't know if we're going to do any more tinkering before Thursday Night Football, but just be on the lookout for some potential special team changes there. Not 100% locked in on a defense at the moment, so we'll have to see where we're going at with that. But Alex and Nick Garvey, I think Nick Garvey's just gotten very unlucky this year. I think Alex is going to beat him. Ultimately, Alex has gotten some injuries here as of late, especially last week. He had a couple guys go out and didn't put together the most solid team either. So I think he's got one more win than me. So really not an amazing team here at the bottom. What do you expect in the shit bowl? But now we get to the fun things, the playoffs. Owen's got everybody in the world hurt on his team, so I don't know if he beats Jackson this week. So I got Jackson on that one. I think Dabrowski has a bye, and then maybe Mikey or Jesse, one of those guys has a bye, and then it's Nick Lowe and somebody. I think it's Nick Lowe and Mikey maybe. So if that's the case, I got Mikey all day long. If it was Jesse, I got a really close matchup, but I got Nick Lowe. I think going into the championship and who is going to be winning the overall league here this year, I do believe it is going to be Mikey. I think it's going to be Mikey, probably a Mikey Jackson, a Mikey Owen championship, I think is probably what is most likely to happen. And if that is the case, Owen's got some injuries here. So if he does squeak out this week, I don't know if he can make it again another week. And then Jackson's just that dark horse. He squeaked in earlier in the season. He was down there at the bottom of the. Actually, I had a better record at one point than him. So he pulled his season out of the ashes and really kind of made a run for it. And he's got himself in the playoffs. He didn't even squeak by. It was Nick Lowe who did, and he guaranteed himself a spot pretty early on. I think week 12 or something. So I've got Jackson if it's up against Owen and them. I don't know, man. Dabrowski could win too. Dabrowski, Mikey, I think is potentially a matchup earlier on in the championship, but that's why I'm thinking maybe Mikey and Jackson, Mikey Owen. That might be a final that we get to see this year, and I got Mikey all the way. He's just got a solid team. He drafted really well. Ended up getting some good running backs. Has some of the better wide receivers in the league at the moment. He's got plenty of flex room. I don't believe he's had any issues with his special teams, so it's all been pretty solid at the moment. And really, he just didn't get hit by the injury bug all that much. I think he maybe had a couple injuries earlier in the season. He had some suspensions that he was working through, which was Rashid Rice. But other than that, it was strictly just pure domination this year. I think he won the overall highest score, and I'm going to be betting a pretty hefty penny that he is going to win the overall championship as well. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. No drinks this week, but you've seen 8 or 9 of them this year, so almost one a week with the zeros that I've had. That's why we changed the name to Zeros King, or I don't know what we changed it to. Zeros by the bunch. We got a lot of zeros this year, so we had to change the name. We also don't have some of the players that we had in our previous name, so kind of felt like it was right to change it for the Sped Bowl / playoffs. So I don't know. That's the presser. I'll see you guys next week for, I do believe, a little bit longer one for the postseason, but we'll see who can get a win here. Just need one. One out of the next 2 weeks is all we need just to stay alive. See you guys.